Hey everyone, I'm Delicia and thanks for stopping by my Cigar Vixen channel for my weekly top 5 cigar picks. But first I want to take a moment to wish all of you dads out there a very happy Father's Day. I hope you guys are enjoying your day, hopefully with a great stick and something in hand and spending time with the people that you love. So special shout out of course to my own dad. Love you. I don't get mushy very often, but he is a very special person to me for so many reasons. And also to my stepdad, Mike. Happy Father's Day, Pappy. Love you. You guys are awesome. I love all the very special people in my life that I have. My brothers, great dads as well. So very happy Father's Day again to all of you. And back to the lineup. Starting with number 5, we have the La Palina. This is the number 2 in a funky little retro band. Again, different to their traditional lineup. This one has the bright colors, big letters, numbers, just very different than their traditional branding. A very dark oscuro. This is a Costa Rican wrapper, and it's laying over a Honduran binder, a Nicaraguan and Honduran filler. It's a little bit fuller bodied than the number 1, which I believe was featured in last week's lineup, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit of a sweeter type of a profile to it. Has some spice in there as well, so you get a mixture, combination of some black pepper, almost that spearmint kind of feel to the smoke itself for, in and out, not through the entire stick, but just moments of it. You kind of get that reminiscent of that kind of that different type of spice that just gives you like, it just lights up your palate a little bit differently, but you definitely get those notes of cocoa in here as well. But just a, nice stick, good price point on this one as well. Number 4 is going out to the Diesel Whiskey Row. This one has also been in the lineup, if I'm not mistaken, last week or the week before. This was a newer collaboration. Of course, these are made by AJ Fernandez out in Esteli, Nicaragua. And it's a collaboration between Diesel and the bourbon barrel-aged Rabbit Hole whiskey. So Whiskey Row, it's this whole little collaboration that they're doing. Really cool. A lot of fun with this one. Beautiful band on it. And this one is actually featuring an Ecuadorian Habano 5-year aged wrapper. Mexican San Andres on the binder, which of course that has been aged in the bourbon barrels to give it that different type of flavoring to it. And then a Nicaraguan filler, which has also been aged 5 to 8 years from different regions in Nicaragua. So you have Ometepe, Jalapa, and Condega to provide some really awesome flavors. You're going to get white pepper with this one, a little bit of charred oak naturally from that little bit of aging in those bourbon barrels. You do pick up a sweetness that's natural to that Mexican San Andres tobacco. You do get some subtle notes. You get some cinnamon in here. You get a little bit of a leather kind of in and out. So just different notes in a very tasty stick. Also on the very reasonable price point. Number 3 is going out to the LFD La Volcada. This is a beautiful cigar, very elegant. It's a dance, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And on the band itself, it shows like a guy dipping a woman, that they're dancing together. So really cool band. I love that. Of course, Lito's known for his dance skills, especially the tango. But just a lot of fun. Love to see the different stuff that goes into the name and the designs on the bands. This one's very different coloring as well as just the overall design for the LFD brand. But the La Volcada is a beautiful stick featuring a Mexican San Andres wrapper, an Ecuadorian Corojo binder, and then a Dominican filler, of course, grown on Lito's farm. This one gives you the leathers, the little bit of raisin, you get caramel, you get kind of like a cold brew coffee notation in here as well. It's a very pretty looking cigar. So again, very elegant, decent on the price point somewhat as well. And then I had a tough time deciphering between number 2 and number 1 this week, but I went ahead and did it this way. So number 2 is going to go out to the Padron 1964 anniversary. This is the Maduro and the Principe. This was the cigar that made me fall in love with cigars. I'm often asked what my favorite cigar is, and I don't have one in particular, but this one would be very close to it. This would be a cigar that, again, it made me fall in love with cigars. So this was one of the first ones, not the first cigar that I smoked, but one of the first ones that I was like, yes, this is what it's about. So this one always has a special place with me, especially in this size. It's a smaller, shorter smoke, but it just is very flavorful. And of course, it's Nicaraguan tobacco, has that beautiful Maduro wrapper. Also comes in the natural, of course, so personal preference on that one. I prefer the Maduro. Just for me, it's a little bit sweeter, has that notes of the dusted cocoa. You get the coffee in here. You get that subtle spice that comes through as well. But it's all just very balanced. It's a very elegant cigar. It's an easy smoke. It's one that is meant to be appreciated. It's definitely, because it does have that higher price point, is not a cigar that you should, in my opinion, you shouldn't smoke it super often. I have met a handful of people that they buy the box and they smoke them all the time. I don't. I have a few that I keep stashed and I smoke them once in a while. You know, I don't like to smoke them all the time, but they're definitely a cigar that you want to take your time with and enjoy all those different notes and hopefully smoke it with somebody special. So number 1 this week is going out to the Muestra de Saka. This is the Unicorn. So I left it all in the packaging so I could show you guys what it looks like. This is a beautiful diadema. It's the Sobremesa blend, and it's different because it's using like super high-end grade tobacco. It's a very pricey stick. It's about $100. Well, it's a $100 cigar. And there's a lot of meaning behind it. Steve Saka is, of course, if you get a chance to talk to him specifically about it, he would give you much better insight than I can. But from my understanding, it was more of like a personal challenge that he was kind of trying to see, like if he could create, like how much money he could actually spend in making a cigar. Meaning, you know, most of the time making a cigar doesn't cost a whole lot of money, but you can spend on you know, more money on really good tobacco, that higher grade, those perfect leaves that are flawless, those are hard to come by. And so what he did is, out of like this huge thing of tobacco that, you know, whether it was the ones that, whatever he was picking, let's just not even get into all of that because it's a long thing, but it was a select amount of that tobacco is what he used for this Unicorn series. So I think there's only 1,000 that were made. And again, there's only 1,000 that were made. He actually cut the molds by hand to make this special diadema size, and it's cool. It gives you all the information on here, so it tells you in the gold lettering that it's a diadema deluxe 6 1/4 by 60, and then of course it has the beautiful Muestra de Saka, and then the cool little unicorn, which I thought was great. Inside it's packaged very nice, and of course all of these come in these individual coffins, and they're only rolled by one couple. You know, one set of rollers that are out of the Joya de Nicaragua factory. So again, just he spared no expense in creating a very flavorful, very elegant, really just like a perfect cigar. And just, you know, it's a lot of fun. Definitely for somebody that appreciates tobacco and can really pick out some of those flavor points, and also just will notate like how different it smokes. Because again, it's just really, it's like the best of the best tobacco basically that's being used. And then not to mention this really cool shape, it's a diadema. So of course the 60 ring gauge refers to like the biggest part of the cigar, and then the diadema meaning that both ends are pointed. So just a really pretty cigar. The wrapper, it's a Connecticut broadleaf, but it's really nice. Usually the Connecticut broadleaf tend to be really rough and stuff like that. So this one is just, it's a little bit, again, it's the nicer of, like, let's say out of a whole bin of Connecticut broadleaf, you're getting like the nicest ones. And again, just a really elegant tobacco. So the Muestra de Saka, featuring a very simple, just little ribbon that has the lettering on here. And then of course that cool little unicorn. So again, definitely a cigar for somebody who appreciates cigars. This isn't necessarily for somebody that is just looking to spend some money. Like, this is somebody that you really want to kind of understand cigars and understand the tobacco and just really want to enjoy a good cigar. This would be a very special one for you to smoke, in fact. So anyways, that's why I made it number 1, because of course for our dads, we spare no expense, and this would be a great gift, whether it's a little late for Father's Day, I guess, but you can get it any other time if you can find it, because it is limited. So definitely recommend that you give those a try. And now that I've been blabbering on about all of these different stuff here and kind of getting sidetracked, I wanted to also draw your attention to an upcoming, the annual upcoming trade show, which I usually cover for you guys, the IPCPR Trade Show. So last year was a lot of fun. It's always a great time to catch up with old friends and see what's going on in the industry. I did spend some time at this last show talking with Nirka Reyes at the Saga booth. There's, beautiful display that they have, like the old library style with the different books, because of course all her Saga short tales come in those beautiful books. So it's really fun to sit down and talk with her about what's going on in the industry and her take, getting that female perspective. Always a lot of fun to stop by and talk with her. Had a chance to visit with Steve Saka, of course, and pick his brain as much as possible. He's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to tobacco, and I always appreciate any time that I can sit down with him and just ask him questions or just listen to him talk about what he's doing. He's somebody that's very hands-on, very involved in the industry, so I love to get that opportunity to talk with him. Had a chance to visit with Nick Malio, Foundation Cigars, and see what's going on in his booth. It's always, crazy, lots of music, lots of cool artwork. It's always fun to see him and again talk to somebody that has a lot of knowledge about the industry, that has a very immense love of tobacco and of Nicaragua especially. So a lot of fun to talk with him and visit, La Aurora, Miami. Nestor's always a character. Anytime I can see him is a good day. A lot of fun to always stop by and see what they're doing over in the Dominican Republic. Lots of fun. Falto is also a very good friend of mine. Had a chance to sit down and talk with him, have a little bit of coffee, smoke some Falto cigars, which is always great. And then, of course, McAuliffe, which were the newer kids on the block. They had a great booth this last year. So looking forward to seeing what they're going to be doing this year. And also, I'm going to be spending a little bit of time in their booth. So I'll be taking the opportunity to do some interviews with retailers. So if you are a retailer that's going to IPCPR, make sure you come by the McAuliffe booth and do a little interview. It'll be some fun. We'll have some little prizes and stuff like that. But I want to hear back from all of you. What kind of stuff do you want to see from the trade show from me? So whether it's specific interviews that you're looking for, do you have any specific questions? Last year I did a little giveaway, and whoever questions that I used on my video, I sent them, some cigars or some swag or whatever came back with me from the show. So I'm going to do the same thing this year. So please, I'm asking you, post your questions, post your comments, whatever stuff. I appreciate the feedback, and it's always good for me when I'm building out these videos to know what you guys actually want to see, whether it's just finding out what's new, or if there's a specific person that you're curious to have me talk with them, or if you have a specific question, something pertaining to the industry, something pertaining to a select cigar, a certain type of tobacco, whatever it may be. But always great to get that feedback from you guys. And then again, if I do end up using your question, I will be contacting you and sending you out some cool stuff after the show. So that will be coming up in the middle of July. Stay tuned for coverage on that. And again, happy Father's Day to all of you. And thanks so much for listening to me ramble on. And I hope you guys have a great Father's Day and a great Sunday, and enjoy your week of smoking. Cheers.